there, I'm Maggie from Satsang House Meditation and Spiritual Center in San Diego. And this is Maggie's Mindful Moments. And I just wanted to throw out a few ideas to try and help us keep our sanity during this very, very difficult time. I know it's tough, and some of you have lost your jobs. Some of you are trying to teach kindergartners from your desk at home. Some of you are concerned about the next paycheck or how to pay the mortgage. This is a very frightening, difficult, disruptive, and uncertain time. And without minimizing anybody's fear or concern, I do want to remind us all that this is permanent. We're not going to be in this forever. Yes, it's quite a disruption, but it's not a permanent state. It's just like that rose that's blooming outside my window right now. It's not permanent either. So the joy and the tragedy and the sadness and the happiness, none of it's permanent. So that's one thing I just wanted to say. And the other is, I wanted to give you a few suggestions to try and ease the fight, flight, and freeze response, that survival response that is triggered immediately through our amygdala, the back portion of our brain, very primitive portion of our brain that triggers our whole physiology into a fight, flight, and freeze response when we feel threatened or we're in survival mode, which no one can deny that at the moment we all feel that way. Even if you're at home tucked away and you've got plenty of groceries and you've maybe even have plenty of money, that doesn't mean that you're not in that same survival mode. That doesn't mean your physiology isn't reacting in that way. So we have to put steps in, especially now at the very beginning of what looks to be quite a few weeks of this, if not longer, which I hope I'm wrong, but it would be best if you start to put in some practices right now that might help ease this time for you, and if you've got family living with you, for them as well. Because if you can be that one calm person, then those around you will also settle down. So first, let's just talk quickly about how your physiology responds in this survival mode that we're in right now. Your heart rate accelerates, your blood pressure accelerates. You might not be sleeping as well. Your digestion will slow down during this time as well. Anti-aging hormones go down as well because it's not important to keep some of those things going when we're trying to survive, and your body knows the difference. So one of the best ways for you to simmer your autonomic nervous system and this whole fight, flight, and freeze response is to try to do your best to have some kind of mindful consumption. And by that I mean, it literally in this sense really, is try not to get captivated or addicted to the news coverage of the coronavirus. It's very, very difficult to pull yourself away from the drama. It kind of pulls us in, it sucks us in, but what's worse is it creates more fear and more anxiety in all of us. There's no need to sit and watch the infection rate go up or the death toll go up in each country or your own country. It makes no difference. Because here's the thing, if you're doing what there is to do, what your government has asked you to do, what your country, wherever you're living, has asked you to do, you're hunkering down, you're staying away from other people, you're not going to the beach, you've got enough groceries for now. If you're doing all those things that have been asked of you, there's really nothing else we can do. So no amount of watching hours and hours of the news is going to make you feel better, at least right now. So my recommendation is if you have news apps on your phone, that you take them off your phone. You literally delete them. If it's CNN or ABC or BBC or whoever it is in your country or in your community, delete it, take it off your phone so you're not even tempted to just click on it and see what's going on. If you have somehow set up notifications to tell you when the CDC has something new to say or the New York Times has something new to say, turn off those notifications now. Give yourself a half an hour a day to catch up on the news. That's it. And for the rest of the time, create a schedule so that you can get up at a regular time. You take a shower at a regular time. Perhaps you meditate for 10 or 15 minutes before you shower. Maybe you do a little exercise on the floor of your bedroom or in the garage. And even if you can't go for a walk or you're not allowed to, you can sit on the front porch for a minute or two and listen to the birds, smell the fresh air, and realize that you're not in this alone. These are just some of the ways that I would recommend that you start to tune into a little more self-care. As human beings, we do not like to live in uncertainty. We do not want to not have an answer. We need to know how it's going to turn out, when it's going to turn out, when all of this is going to be over, when is my life going to go back to normal, when can I see my children again if we're separated, or my parents, or whoever we're separated from. But the problem is with that thinking just makes you more anxious, because we can't control anything that's going on except what's going on in our own house, in our own lives, and with our own health. So see if you can stay in the present moment, this moment, right here, right now. I know it's hard, but one of the ways that you can be successful in making that happen is by creating a structure for your day-to-day life that you adhere to, so that it gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning, particularly if you've lost your job and you've got no place to go during the day like you always did, and you sort of feel like you're out there floundering around with no direction. Give yourself direction. Create a schedule that includes self-care time, whether that's taking a hot bath or going for a walk if you can, or even one of those adult coloring books, or a puzzle out on the dining room table that your kids can join you with. Anything like that. Build in time for you. Read a book that you've been wanting to read that's been sitting on your bedside table for months unread. The other thing I want you to do is to plan in your day at least 30 minutes a day to reconnect with somebody, whether it's your parents, your children, your old friends, or someone you haven't talked to in years. I want you to plan a time, at least 30 minutes a day, where you reconnect. Because part of what goes on when we're not able to connect physically with one another is that we lose our sense of safety. And in this time right now, we already have sort of lost our sense of safety and well-being. So it's really important that you reconnect visually, either WhatsApp or Zoom or FaceTime or whatever you have available to you. Reconnect or connect with somebody in your life face to face, so that you start to feel a sense of security again, a sense of I'm okay and I'm not alone. It's super, super important to your health and well-being. The other thing is, see if you can cultivate an environment of compassion and steadiness right now. That's what we all need. And again, by creating a daily schedule for your life and your activities, you will start to feel a little calmer, because you'll have a predictable thing to follow, where you won't allow yourself to just sit in your jammies all day watching Netflix, okay? Then the other thing is see if you can cultivate steadiness. So because I, of course, am a meditation teacher, I highly recommend that you spend at least 10 minutes a day in silence, trying to calm that inner dialogue. If you notice that your mind is dragging you off into wherever, come back to your breathing and just pay attention to your inhale and your exhale, and your inhale and your exhale. I also recommend, all of my classes now are online, and there's at least 5 per week. Meditations, community gatherings, places where we can connect and just sort of talk a little bit about what's going on for each of us before we settle into meditation. So I recommend too that you follow me on satsanghouse.net. Sign up for one of those meditations and join us in community to stay connected. Once again, to stay connected and to slow your autonomic nervous system down. When you slow your autonomic nervous system down, then your entire physiology as well as your emotional state will also settle down a little bit. And then finally, one of the things I think is really a benefit to this time for all of us is to sort of be able to look back and reflect on our lives and ask yourself, have I loved well? Have I given of myself in ways that I'm proud of? Can I look back on my life so far and be proud of myself and who I am? Or are there some changes I really want to make now? Now that I've had a little time to just be still and reflect, are there things I want to change, things I want to do differently? So this is a time of reflection, but first, before we can reflect on anything, we have to slow down and simmer down and try to calm our physiology so that our minds will calm as well. And I'm here to support you. If I can do anything whatsoever to ease this distress and stress for you and your family, please by all means reach out to me. I'm also offering online coaching sessions free of charge through June 1st. And you can find me at my website and follow the links that you'll see listed here. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay well, keep your distance, and please reach out if you need anything. I'm thinking of you all and wishing you all good health. Namaste.